Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and happy Veterans Day to those of you that have served or have family or friends that have served. We're so appreciative for your sacrifices. Today, we're going to go through our daily Zoom as a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. We've received a grant, and part of our grant is based around building financial literacy as well as providing access to capital. Today, we're going to talk about a different campaign. Campaign. So, it's not unusual for sales organizations that you are a leader of, if you're a reseller, you can have different campaigns. So, for example, you could have different target audiences and different ways to reach them. Let's take Gilbert, who's on, Mr. Perez. Mr. Perez, if I recall correctly, he loves getting referrals from law firms. So, his expertise is going in, getting face to face with attorneys, and getting referrals from law firms. So, that's a type of a campaign that's different than what Kimberly does, where Kimberly likes to get referrals from bankers. So she's spending her time and energy out networking with bankers. So those are two different campaigns. So it's okay as you're running your sales organization to have different campaigns. Some may work better than others, some may be a better fit for you than others. So we're going to talk about a different campaign today. You don't have to adopt this, and there's no cost, of course, but we're going to go through this campaign. So before that, let's just cover some of the basic resources. Our website, which isn't shown today, is 509pacific.org. If you're looking to become an ESP reseller or get other information, that's on our website. If you're looking for funding and you need a shelf corp, then go to entrepreneurstarterpack.com. That is our landing page, and any of you that want a landing page that operates that same way, not our conversation today, you can go get set up as an ESP reseller. A new entry on our resources is our topic today, talking about getting a funding proposal. We're going to go through that in a minute, but fundingproposal.org drives you to this page. It's forwarded, and anyone that wants a landing page for this, you can have one, and it's free. And so we'll talk about that in a minute. Our tech support line 903-347-8042. Our past trainings are up on YouTube. Our 501(c)(3) has received a grant with three mandates, as I mentioned before: improving financial literacy, giving away shelf corps, and accessing capital. So, with our new campaign that we're going to talk about, it provides two of the three, but not three of the three. So, this campaign does not provide a free shelf corp. So, who would be a good candidate to come through this sales funnel, the free funding proposal? It would be either someone that can't afford the Shelf Corp program because there's a cost for that. There is no upfront cost for the funding proposal, and or someone that already has a business entity. They don't want our Shelf Corp. So it could be either extreme. So the free funding proposal, quite frankly, only meets two of the three mandates. We want to improve financial literacy. We provide funding, but it does not include a Shelf Corp. So let's go ahead and dig into the free funding proposal campaign. So first, we're going to go through what it is. And again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, type it into the Q&A. Some of the questions may be answered as we go through. So what is this all about? Why are we offering this new campaign? Well, the truth is we have had many conversations with a number of you, and some of you asked for a simpler entry point. Because if you're an ESP reseller and you're out selling the entrepreneurial starter package, whereby it's the Shelf Corp and the 20,000 quick cash, there's a lot of value there, but it requires the participant to come up with money out of pocket. Some people don't want to do that, or some people can't do that. So this campaign is allowing us to go to the marketplace with no upfront cost. No upfront cost. So first bullet here, is these individuals they will not get a shelf corp. They're going to go right into funding. Now, after that funding, if they want to get a shelf corp, they could. They don't have to. But this is essentially going right into what we've commonly called phase two. Remember phase one versus phase two? Here we're going directly into phase two. I like starting with the shelf corp first, but a number of our resellers are going out to the marketplace as we've tested this with this approach, where you're going out to the market with no upfront cost. And some of the numbers that some of you are generating are freaking crazy, but it kind of makes sense. If you can go to the marketplace with something that solves someone's problem that requires no upfront cost, you can get quite a few people to bite on that. And so we've seen a number of you generate massive volume through this mechanism. But what you have to understand is if you are a distribution partner and this is the campaign we're going to use, since the client has no upfront expenditure, there's not an immediate hit of income to you. It's delayed by about a week. So that's the trade-off. But let's continue on. I want to be clear that the free funding proposal campaign is applicable regardless if the participant already has a business or not. It doesn't matter. So it's what I said earlier. You're going to have some people that already have a business and they're going to say, "No, I don't want a shelf corp. I don't need a shelf corp. I want to use my current business." Well, great. Let's go get you a free funding proposal. Let's get going, no upfront cost. Or alternatively, you might have people that don't have a business, but they don't want a shelf corp, or they don't have the money for a shelf corp for the ESP. So this is going to work for either end of that continuum. There's absolutely no hard inquiries to get offers. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these folks offers, get them funding, and I'll show you the process to describe. There are no minimum credit scores, but we all should be fairly sophisticated. So is having good credit better than having bad credit? Of course. Having good credit, does that give us more options? Of course. So we're not misleading anyone. However, this does not to get offers does not require any minimum credit score. So in other words, everyone will get at least one offer. Now, by going through the free funding proposal campaign, we're not going to waste people's time. Everyone will get at least $100,000. So that it's not capped at $100,000, but there is a minimum performance, and that's of course necessary because of the grant requirements. And again, no upfront cost. And we're going to go through the paperwork and everything here in just a few minutes. There's no upfront cost. No strings attached. It's just a different approach. We're going right into what we call phase two, where normally we have spent a lot of time talking about phase one, which is getting the shelf corp first. So with that, let's extend this down a little bit more. Now, some of you I anticipated asking, okay, well, great. How does this affect you if you want to be a distribution partner and leverage this? So let's talk about that. We're going to call this more of an affiliate program. So this is not the same as a reseller. If you want to be a reseller, you're going to go over to 509pacific.org. You're going to be set up. And as a reseller, at least one of your campaigns is going to be offering the ESP, the Entrepreneur Starter Pack, which is the shelf corp, the collateral, the 20,000 quick cash, all of that, which is not our discussion today. So this is a separate and distinct role. There's no cost to be an affiliate. You can be both an affiliate and a reseller, either or. So let's talk about how the affiliate program is set up. It's set up to be simple because now you don't have to go get someone under contract. Now you don't have to go collect any money from them. It's simple, but it's also, frankly, not as lucrative, but it's still a good income. It's an affiliate program. So let's go through that. As an affiliate, I'll go ahead and just pull it all the way down, 4 bullets. So affiliates bringing people through the free funding proposal, you make a flat $250. That's what it is. It's a flat $250. It's not 250 plus, not 250 minus, it's $250. But what you're doing is just simply referring people in to your landing page, which you'll get free. It'll look just like this. It'll be coded to you. It'll have a different numerical ending, so it's coded to you. So that's second point. No cost to be an affiliate. All we ask for is just go through it yourself. Because if you go through it yourself, you'll understand it enough. We could spend lots of time and energy training, or you could just go through it. So that's the key to entry is just go through it. People typically ask, okay, is there override? So if I referred in Claude and then Claude referred in Donovan, will I get overrides? Yes, we're not MLM and not network marketing, but we're going to continue the overrides. So if you're the person referring someone in, you make 250. If someone you referred in then becomes an affiliate, they get their 250, you get your 250. All right, so with that now, let's go through the mechanics, as I want this to be a very practical training where we don't leave today with a whole lot of questions. So you will have a landing page that looks just like this. The difference will be the numerical code that's coded to you. You'll drive people to it. So for instance, if you type in fundingproposal.org, it will bring you to our landing page. You'll have your own landing page, no cost. And so it'll have this graphic up front. And so again, we already mentioned a couple times, there's two different audiences that are going to be attracted to this campaign. It's going to be those more sophisticated business owners that already have a business and they don't need or don't want a shelf corp, and or those that don't have a business yet and they're not ready to get a shelf corp because of whatever reason. So it could be either extreme. But what we're clarifying with the graphic is everyone can participate. They don't have to think about, oh, is my credit good enough? Or do I have a business that's good enough? No pre-qual. So it describes do you need funding to start or grow a business? Request a free funding proposal to see what you qualify for by simply completing the form below. No minimum credit scores, no upfront costs, no hard inquiries, no minimum time in business. Pick the funding offers you want, decline those that you don't. So again, what are we doing in the big picture? We're going right into phase two instead of starting with phase one. There's only 4 pieces of information that's needed: first name, last name, mobile number, and email. They check the box, hit this, and then it's going to put them into your sales funnel. We're providing the sales funnel for free. You don't pay anything for the landing page. You don't have to pay anything to be an affiliate. There you go. So what will happen is once they fill that out, and again, if you want to test it, you can go to fundingproposal.org. And so once they complete this, then what it's going to do is, let's go ahead and put it in here. So we'll do test 903-200-8781, and we'll do support at business paralegal. Click this button. And then it's going to instantly bring up the proposal application. It's also going to send them a text that they can opt into, and then they'll be in your drip sequence. But it'll immediately bring it up just like this. So now let's look at this funding proposal application. And again, this is same as phase two through our normal process. So there's 2 components of this one-page simple app. No docs are required, self-reported information. The top half is business information. The bottom half is business owner information. Everything on the top is optional. Well, why is that important? Because they may not have this information. They might not have a business, or they might not have any of this, or they might just have some of this. But none of these fields are required, whereby all the fields on the bottom are required. Let's look at what data is coming in. So if they have a business, it's going to ask them the name of their business, pretty reasonable. It's going to ask them when that business started. It's going to ask them the EIN, always if applicable. So maybe they have some of this, but not all of this. But let me go through the fields, and then we're going to come back and talk about the relevance in a moment. So let's not evaluate or judge. Let's just simply look at what's being asked. Business address, if applicable. What type of address is it? Is it a commercial, residential, post office box? Do you have a business phone? Do you have a business website? How much money is coming in? Again, if any, we're not setting minimum qualifications. We're not saying, oh, you have to have all these. We just want to know if you do have it, because that goes into the algorithms, the artificial intelligence, the algorithms that calculates the lender match. Business credit score, your paydex score if known, and then do you have collateral? So again, all of this is optional. But let's think about it for a moment. Let's say that you had a participant come to your free landing page, they fill this out, and then it comes in. This is going to help us pre-qualify if they really need a shelf corp from you. So again, you can be an affiliate and not a reseller, but let's just assume for a moment that you're both. So you're using this to create a big funnel to bring lots of people in. Well, what happens is we can see, well, do they have a business? If not, that doesn't keep them from getting funding offers. But if they don't have a business, that's a pretty good sign that the shelf corp might be attractive to them. So it can pre-qualify them for a shelf corp if they want it. It's not required. How long has the business been around? Have they gotten their EIN? Business address. Again, what do we know with the shelf corps and the ESP? Well, with the shelf corps, they're getting an entity, so we'd be able to provide this if they don't have it, but we also provide a unique commercial address. Well, if they already have a business with an address, we'll find out what type of address they have. Let's say that they have a business, but they're using a residential address. So if you are also a reseller, that would give you good talking points to follow up and say, hey, Mr. Smith, I see that you applied for a funding proposal. I see you got a number of offers, but did you know that we could get you even more offers if we had a business set up to be compliant? So you're going to know what they have and what they don't have. Have they set up a business phone? You and I know a business phone should be different than your cell phone. They should have a business website. Is that a prerequisite? No, but these are things that we can determine that are opportunities for us to help them make them stronger. How are their deposits? Are there a minimum? No, but the more deposits they have, the stronger it is, more options we have. Paydex, is there a minimum? No, but if not, we know that that's part of our value proposition with the shelf corps. So what you're doing is you're bringing people in, not under false pretenses. We're going to be able to get everyone a funding proposal, but this data set is a great pre-qualification tool to get people into a shelf corp. Does that make sense? We have 626 of you on. Does that make sense? So no, these aren't prerequisites to get funding offers, but these are that this is a valuable set of information that we could help them strengthen in many cases and be able to qualify for even more, whereby if you're a reseller, this is kind of a pre-qual list. Then on the bottom side, we have the individual information. Who is the key person? Well, it's whoever's filling it out. Do they have to own a business? No, we've already covered that. Looking for a basic set of data. What's their first name, last name, title? I know that can be a little confusing, but normally it's business owner, but don't worry too much about that. The reason we have it as required, you might say, well, if they don't have a business yet, why are we making them give us a title? Well, my life lesson is if you don't make all these fields required, people will just skip it. So but maybe they're a consultant, or maybe they're a CPA or one of the attorneys that Corinthian's working with. But anyway, cell phone number, we want cell phone number, not because that makes it as credible as a business number, but we want to reach them on a cell phone. Their email address, it's okay if it's a Gmail or Yahoo. Again, we're not pre-qualifying, but how do we reach them? We want to know their home information because we're getting them funding offers. This one's important. So some of these criteria for getting offers, it's not really your opinion or my opinion, but from the algorithms of lenders, some lenders care. lenders often prefer to loan money to people that own a home. Now, if you're a renter, does that mean that you can't get funding? Of course not, but it's a plus if you're a homeowner. So it asks that educational level, self-reported credit score, so they don't have to prove it up, but it's just best knowledge. What do you believe your credit score is? Yes, we're going to need personal information to be able to get them offers because that's the output. They're going to fill this out, and within 24 hours, they're going to get funding offers, at least one, but in many cases, many. And then Valerie will be following up with them. Valerie's one of our attorneys. Valerie will be following up with them to answer questions and move them along, their birth date, their total monthly income, and pay frequency. So it's a very simple one-page app. Let's go back to where we were on fundingproposal.org. And let's pull back up our notes so we can kind of pull this together. And several of you, like Rod, are saying you really like this campaign. Thank you for that, Rod. Who has questions about this campaign? Because the first thing you need to know is what the model is. It's allowing people to come in with no upfront cost. They can have a business or not have a business. They don't have to start with a shelf corp, but we can focus on getting them some initial funding offers right away. They can accept the offers they want. They can decline those that they don't want. There's no hard inquiries to get the offers, but it's a great way, I believe, to bring people into the system. This is not meant to stop. So some of you are just machines. Donovan and Charles and a number of you are doing great, Mr. Hicks, on bringing people in as a reseller on the Shelf Corp format. I'm not suggesting change that. This isn't replacing that. This is a different campaign. But I think without doubt, if you had a free landing page that looked just like this, and you could drive people into it, then you could create a bigger funnel. I've shown you what the application looks like, and I've shown you how that application will help you be able to pre-qualify those that would also be a good candidate for a Shelf Corp. So it's not bait and switch. They don't have to go buy a Shelf Corp afterwards. But if on that top half of the application, we see that they're missing some key credibility factors for some types of business funding, great talking points. Through this model is set up as what we call an affiliate program again. So that's different than being a reseller. You can become an affiliate for free. You get a landing page for free. You don't have to pay for any of that. But what you get paid is a flat $250 a deal. Now we can debate that for a moment. Is that a good deal or is that a bad deal? Well, for an affiliate program, I think it's fair. I mean, you could look around. You have no cost, you have no implementation responsibilities. If you're active, you should be able to refer in multiple people a day, but again, volume is dependent upon you. You're paid a flat $250, and yes, they pay overrides. All right, so let's go through questions, comments, concerns. Before we wrap up here in a couple minutes, I want to make sure that this makes sense. Let me ask you a yes or no question, and maybe you could type this in, a response into the Q&A. It's like a chat box. Do you think that you would like to use this campaign? Yes or no? And it's okay if it's no. But for some of you, like Jeff up in Idaho, I think this is going to be a gold mine for some of you that just haven't really gotten a lot of traction by going straight for the Shelf Corp. So we're not abandoning the other campaign. It's still our bread and butter, but this would provide an easy way for you to start making money. You don't have to have any investment and you don't really need a lot of training. Really, if you can ask someone this question, that's probably about all you need to say because they'll fill this out. They'll get that app we talked about. They'll fill out the app. And then we're going to have one of our attorneys, or at least one of our paralegals, follow up. So they'll be well taken care of. You make $250 a pop. Is $250 a fair deal? Well, I mean, you're spending less than an hour, should be a lot less than an hour. I know a lot of you make a lot of money, but $250 an hour, if we looked at it from that perspective, is not bad. And I suspect that most people on this live Zoom right now, they're not currently earning 250 an hour. So it is a fairly easy way to make an extra $1,000 a week. And if you're active, an extra $1,000 a day. But again, what training do you need to have? What do you need to know to say to people? Well, we need to make sure you have your landing page, so it'll be unique to you. And then, frankly, if you can say, hey, are you needing funding to start or grow a business? Did you know that you can get a free funding proposal to see what you qualify for by just filling out a simple form? There's no minimum credit scores, there's no upfront cost, no hard inquiries. No, you don't have to already have a business. Startups can qualify. You pick the offers you want, decline those that you don't, and then have them go to your landing page. Now, you want them to go to your landing page to fill this out. I know some of you think about kind of shortcutting, gaming the system. Oh, I'll just go in and put people's information in. That's not going to work, right? So let's take Mr. Moses, who's on here. Mr. Moses has a very broad sphere of influence. So he could sit down today and probably put 100 people in. But is that going to work? No, because he needs them to go to his landing page and fill this out, because I already showed you exactly what's going to happen is once these fields are filled out, it's going to take them immediately to the funding proposal app. And if they don't complete it, it's going to use drip marketing to continue to encourage them to do it. But if you're putting it in, it's going to give you the app, not them. And no, I don't think you should be filling out the app for other people. Now, is there anything wrong with you filling this out? Not necessarily, but again, it's going to bring up on the screen, whomever is filling this out, it's going to bring up the app on that screen as well as start the drip sequence. So, best bet is don't try to shortcut the system. Drive them to your landing page, be on the phone with them, be in person with them, walk them through these steps. Because we know if you're on the phone with them when they fill this out, click the blue box and it pops up. If you're on the phone with them, 9 out of 10 people will do it. If you just send them your link, which you could do it, then they may or may not get around to it. Okay, so Rod's asking about getting his affiliate landing page. So you don't need to contact Madison or anyone else to get your affiliate landing page. All you need to do is participate yourself, and then you're able to be an affiliate for free. So go to fundingproposal.org. It'll forward you to this page. You fill this out, and then we can get you set up for free as an affiliate. So you don't need to call us. You don't need to apply. You don't need to sign a contract. You don't need to pay anyone. You just simply go through it yourself. That's what we've learned is those of you that have gone through the process, you tend to be the most successful because you have firsthand knowledge. So if you want your landing page, you want to participate in the affiliate program, the free funding proposal campaign, crazy simple. Go to fundingproposal.org. It'll forward to this page. Participate yourself, and bam, you're in. Okay, what questions have we missed? We've talked about the what, we've talked about the why, we've talked about the how. All right, Pauline's asking time frame for people to get their first round of funding. And that's a good question that I guess we didn't address. They'll get their offers normally within 1 business day. And most people will get multiple offers. They can pick from those, but that wasn't her question. Her question is, when will they see money in their account? Normally about 3 to 7 days. So well, let's just go with that from 3 to 7 days because different lenders turn around in a different amount of time. But let's just say within a week, they should be funded. So then that creates the catalyst for you to be paid. So your payment will be about a week. So that's one of the benefits of being a reseller, which is not what we're talking about. You're paid up front. For each conversion as a reseller, you're paid today. As an affiliate, it's paid out once the participant has accepted funding, received funding. So now you're looking at about a 7-day delay. But I mean, most of us, unless we're a day worker, going out and shoveling ditches and getting paid per day, most of us don't get paid the same day that the work is done anyway. So yes, you do need to anticipate it'll be about 7 days for them to get the funding and 7 days for you to get paid. All right, last question we have. It looks like Troy's asking. So if he uses this campaign, he brings someone in, so he makes his 250, then can he turn around and bring them in to get a shelf corp as a second step? Yes, yes. And that's kind of what I was trying to allude to. Based on that top half of that application, they might be a really good candidate to get a shelf corp. Or maybe they really don't need one or don't want one, so they don't have to do that. Any other questions, comments, concerns? So, in summary, if you want to participate in the free funding proposal campaign, as an affiliate, what do you need to do? You go to fundingproposal.org. It's going to bring up this page. You participate yourself, and by you participating yourself, then you'll, of course, get the benefits and qualify to be an affiliate. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye bye.